Hey, how you doing? It's welcome to the off night, folks. Wild weekend. I had to go. I went to a Bernie Man concert. It's like they erected a statue of Bernie with all of his old posters, from all the campaigns and stuff. But it was pretty interesting. It's been a great week. We've had a lot of fun stuff going on. It's warmed up here in beautiful Michigan, and everybody's kind of peeling off their clothes, even though it's like probably should not be. It's only 50, folks. It's only 50. Anyway, it's gonna be a big weekend. I'd love to talk to you about the Bernie Man concert, and but to do that, we're gonna have our host and MC Mark Sweetman come up here.
I don't know why I did that.
I have no idea either.
But here I am. All right.
Well, hello. So hey,
I did. You notice? So the opening with you was without a glitch.
Yeah,
I went right from the countdown, right to the music, right to you. All of that was very well timed. I still think we need to do a video to introduce that because both of us doing this.
Not so good.
Looks very goofy.
I know it's like old men trying to dance. Okay, hi. How you doing?
I've got this. What looks like a muslin curtain behind me. You've got what is that behind you? Boxes of something up above you there. So
yeah, it's
and then yeah, yeah. There you go. And then on the other side there, that looks like some sort of medicine. Like your daily medicine instructions or something.
Oh no, the poster in the back.
Yeah, what's that?
That's a poster of the people that ran for Michigan Supreme Court, and
okay.
The reason I keep it is because of the two Republicans and what they said they believed in, and it just kind of goes, I have no idea why the heck anybody voted for these guys, but
what does it say?
Very smart, very intelligent guy. He's actually a lawyer, and if he believes in all this stuff.
Listen, saying you're a lawyer does not make you that intelligent. This just means you pass the bar, Yeah,
well, he went to U of M School of Law, but I mean, he's like,
Rudy Giuliani was an attorney. So.
Yeah, that's true. I have to put that. Yeah, that's true. But I was just saying, like this young man, very smart, very, but I can't believe. I don't know. I shouldn't get into it, but if he believes all this stuff, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Oh, I know the guy you're talking about.
From. What's that?
Yeah, I know the guy you're talking. I remember that now. That was last election, right? I remember that.
Yeah.
But our team won. Our team won. Our
yes.
state now. Our state is the opposite of the nation.
Yes.
In Washington, we got a right-leaning House, Senate, and executive, and a right-leaning Supreme Court. And here we got a left-leaning House, Senate, executive, and a left-leaning Supreme Court. So
yeah. So hopefully we can be able to maintain that. But it's go ahead, sir.
How about? Well, we can wait until we get the rest of the guys out here. You want to bring Susan out and let's get the poem?
Sure, let's get the poem
that we usually do at the beginning.
About my Bernie experience. Bernie Man experience, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, let's save that for when everybody's out here.
Sure.
Let's have Susan give her poem right now. Hi, hon.
Hi.
There she is, looking good again, as always.
Happy, beautiful.
Anyway, Susan comes out every week. Yeah. Considering what we've had the rest of the month, yeah, it is pretty beautiful. Anyway, but it's Michigan, so now we fully expect that because we're in Michigan. And we do expect these polar ice caps to melt some more, and we expect people to come here because they're losing their oceanfront property. And since we have many oceans surrounding us, they'll probably come here for our fresh lake oceans, or freshwater oceans. And so just want to remind people that we consider 50 degrees great weather. So put that into your equation too.
I think it hit
anyway, I'm going to give it over to
today.
Susan. I think it hit mid-60s is what I heard. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 65 today.
But that was only for a little bit. Gabe was out in the backyard. My son Gabe was in the backyard doing yard work in a t-shirt. That's how warm it got today.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's give Susan her spotlight here, and she'll read the poem, and then we'll bring the other guys out, and we'll go on from there. So here we go.
Hey.
Here's Susan Sweetman with her poem.
Here's your poem for March 10th, 2025. When bad things happen, Trump passes around all the blame. It's the Dems or DEI, though Trump shares most of the shame. To be clear, Russia started the Ukrainian war, bringing sorrow. In Saudi Arabia, new peace talks start tomorrow. Mark Clancy, winner of Canada's Prime Minister race, spoke today. Canada will never be part of America, he was heard to say. The Republican-controlled Congress looks to pass a funding bill, but if it fails to fund through September, we might be in for a thrill. We'll see if the federal government gets funded or shuts down. A vote set for Tuesday with support from the Orange Clown. And that's your poem.
All right, thank you very much. All right, let's get
welcome.
the other guys. Let's get the other guys out here from New York City. Our favorite old Jewish curmudgeon. I kind of like that, Jewish curmudgeon. Anyway, here he is, Sam Greenfield, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to hear more about the Supreme Court justices in Michigan so I can figure out a way to get the audience riveted to the goddamn radio. Please, more of that shit. Please. Is there anything about lawn care? Holy shit.
Well, we got a whole list of city council meetings that we were going to put in later on.
No, please. Why don't we get everybody who listens to the show in a car and drive them away? Holy crap.
Well, that would mean me getting naked.
Let
but I don't
me
think it
tell
would-
you. Wait, stop.
Have
Stop
a
for a
board
second.
meeting.
I
Emphasis
want to
on
tell you
board.
something that's really interesting.
What's that?
Okay. I'm watching Jeopardy, and there's a guy on the show who's winning by a mile. And I notice he's speaking in a very halting, slow tone. He has Parkinson's,
Okay.
and he won by like a mile. And he's tried to get on the show 5 times, and he finally got on. And he won by so much, he bet $13,000 on Final Jeopardy, lost, and still won by $18,000.
Wow.
Good for him.
Well, you see, now with Parkinson's, that means he's constantly pressing that button, which is why he got to go first all the time.
Oh, stop it, Mark.
Hey, Mark, there's a room in hell for you if you'd like a reservation. And here's the second story. Rick, here's the second story. There's a guy named Ryan Wedding. You ever heard of him, like Royal Wedding?
No.
Ryan Wedding was a participant in the Winter Olympics in snowboarding in the early 2000s.
Oh, I think I've heard this story.
Ryan Wedding was a major, not drug dealer, drug lord.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who was on the lam for 60, get ready, 60 tons of cocaine.
Oh, jeez.
Holy shit.
And
Did he
he's
own a-
responsible, and he's responsible for 4 murders.
Wow.
So evidently, if you don't win your event, you get real pissy.
Yeah. Has he been apprehended?
I don't think. No, he's on. No, in fact, good point, Susan. In fact, he's on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list.
Somebody says he's in Central America or something like that, I heard.
Well, I
That
wouldn't be
makes
walking,
sense.
I wouldn't be walking down 3rd Avenue going, "Who, me?" So
Well, you know, at 60 tons, that means it's probably all of that is on a freighter. And you can always tell which one it is when it gets to shore. All the merchant marines are really gung ho.
really amped up.
Yeah.
We need to get
Sure.
that detective who found Carmen Sandiego on his case.
Oh,
Wait a
and the
minute.
other thing I love about
hold on. I forgot to bring out Jason. Let's get Jason out
where's
here.
our dear friend Jason?
There he is right there. Sorry about that. We're having
Hi, Jason.
We're
I
having
came
two-
out years ago. Don't worry about it. I'm good now.
your mic
Is
again.
Very
Mark,
mic
is it a
is-
coincidence that you forgot to talk about Jason? And as soon as cocaine came up, he says, "Oh, we forgot to introduce Jason."
Yeah, there we go.
I
Well,
thought it was more Carmen Sandiego reference.
Well, when I sing
When-
16 tons, it's not about coal.
I thought it was Carmen Miranda's.
All right,
But-
because nobody comes for mic checks at the beginning of the. Well, Andy did, but nobody comes for mic checks at the beginning anymore. Jason again sounds like he's on the other side of the cavern.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, don't you know?
Don't you know? Don't you know? Anyway, hey,
yeah.
Andy,
Set up
sorry about bringing you back up last night. I kind of caught you off guard. I apologize.
There you go.
Well, yeah, it was okay. I mean, I should remember these things, but it's sort of like, you know, I know verbatim my part in wait, you can't wake up and smell the coffee, but I just, if you point at me right there, it's hard to recite it right off the bat.
Is that the phrase? I'm not being funny. Is that the phrase? Wake up and smell the coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the phrase.
Okay.
It's a Eric Bogosian play where he did all his monologues and
Talk radio.
He did talk radio. He also did sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
He also was based on, it's not his, but it was also based on the story of the Denver talk show host Alan Burr.
Yeah.
The guy that got shot in his studio, gunman came right in.
No, he got shot on the parking lot of the other parking deck of
yeah.
the studio.
By a neo.
Well, if it wasn't a Jew hater, then the guy's really got emotional problem.
Yeah. Photos said he looked a little bit like Trump, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Trump won from 50% approval to 47% approval.
Oh, here, how about this? This one's even better. Tesla stock on January 20th was $4.40 a share. Today it closed at like $2.22.
You know the sad part about that, Mark?
Yeah, what?
He could lose $100 billion and he wouldn't feel it.
And he'd still be the richest man in the world, yeah.
And I was saying that to the lady who was giving me a shower today.
Ooh.
Wow.
You always paint a pretty picture, Sam.
You have no idea.
which is fine as long as the lady giving you the shower wasn't Mrs. Costanza.
Well, what next time?
Yeah, there's a Seinfeld episode. Time for your sponge bath.
That was the one about the people who couldn't, who bet each other that they couldn't.
It was
Master of their domain.
Contest.
What do you need?
Master of their domain.
Master of their domains.
I'm gonna put the water for you because I didn't bring the cup, and I'm gonna use that as a water cup.
Thank you.
You got it?
No more.
Looks like Snoopy sales.
Got it?
Thank you very much. That's the lady who was feeding me my pills.
Ooh.
You are really a radio guy because they show you get your drugs while you're doing the show. That's
that is right.
That's what it's all about, baby.
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
right.
Showered me, shampooed me, fluffed me up. Well, maybe that's not the right phrase.
Now we've heard about,
You have green M&Ms in your contract too. What is that?
I think weren't they brown? Didn't they ask for brown M&Ms?
Brown, because green is every bag has green. Brown was the hard ones to get, so that's why everybody asked for brown.
Brown M&Ms. There we go.
Anyway, let me take the stage here for a second. He's been announcing it to me in phone calls. He put it on his social media, but I don't think we've talked about it yet. But Sam comes home on Thursday.
Yay!
No.
To which my wife said, "So soon?"
How long? When did you go in? When did you go? How long have you been in?
December 24th.
Oh my God.
3 months ago, almost.
3
Wow.
months.
But here's what happened. I had a series of illnesses. They were still, my multiple myeloma is ongoing. When they were pulling me out of the van, the idiot who was pulling me, I must have said to this son of a bitch 5 times, "I'm fine. Let me put a death grip on the handle." And he kept pulling me, and I fell.
Oh.
If that hadn't happened, I would have been home 3 weeks ago. But
Wow.
Dickhead decided, I can handle it. I weigh 109 pounds. Which reminds me, I don't know if you saw this on my Facebook, but I'm now down to 136.
Yay!
Wow.
I did see that.
And I don't know if that's good or bad. But one of my old girlfriends wrote, "Yikes." I keep in touch with my old flames.
when you're younger, it's great.
That's
When
good. Except for the crazy one, right? You're not still in touch with the crazy one.
No, 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 no. These are people who are happily married.
Right,
Well,
right.
no, that's true. They are crazy. No, there are people. No, these are people who are happily married, have great husbands, and but I keep we had a nice time when we were together, and there's no reason to act like we wouldn't. You know what I'm saying.
yeah,
So you're almost down to your jockey weight. So the Derby's coming up in May.
Wow.
The
You know
Derby's
how much
coming up.
I'd
You
have
can
to
ride a
weigh to
horse.
be a you know how much I'd have to weigh to be a jockey? I'd have to weigh
100, 101.
102.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
But they are the
Well,
strongest athletes in the world. Think about that. A guy who
Absolutely.
weighs 100 pounds can control a 1,500-pound horse going at 60 miles an hour. Are you kidding?
yeah, no
I
kidding.
can do it.
Yeah, you listen. I weigh 136. I can't control my wife.
Okay. Well, you get
They
that
don't.
little
They
much
don't
weight.
quite get up to 60 miles an hour.
Oh, you
That-
haven't seen her buck.
That's a fallacy. But yes, horses love to run, and I miss those days when I was riding all the time.
Do the horses love to ride, or do we love to ride the horse?
The horses love to run,
Oh,
and
run.
we love
Okay.
to go along for the ride.
I was in
And
the
some
Catskills.
horses
I'm
maybe
sorry.
don't appreciate us, but most have such a good demeanor when they've
That's
been
true.
ridden.
That
It's really a symbiotic relationship.
I was in the Catskills, and this is years ago, and I wanted to go horseback riding. And so I get on the horse. There's 7 people there. It's me, my girlfriend, and 4 Orthodox Jews. And yippee
That's a great setup.
ki was
Kaye.
Yippee-ki-yay.
and
Yeah.
those guys could ride.
Oh, wow.
And so one of them said, "Are you a little jealous that we ride better than you?" I said, "No, not really. Where'd you grow up?" He goes, "Czechoslovakia." I said, "Well, you had to outrun some people, didn't you?"
Here's a little known Susan fact.
Got a little frosty.
I've done barrel racing and show jumping. I have a few ribbons.
You know the actress Bonnie Franklin?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
She was when
She just passed
one day at a
recently,
time.
didn't she?
she passed away. She
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
She was on the show one day at a time. And from what I've heard, she was not well liked. So she
Hmm.
goes up to Brandon Tartikoff, who was the head of NBC at the time, and she goes, "Listen,
But she was
I
on
under-
that was a show. No, wait a minute. That was a show on CBS.
if you'd let me
Whatever.
Her show
finish,
was on
I will
CBS.
tell you the end of the story."
Yes, let him
He was
finish.
Oh, okay.
he was developing a show for NBC,
Hmm.
Mark,
Mark.
and
I'm sorry,
and she
Sam.
goes up to him and she says, "Listen,
all hail
I
to you,
understand."
Sam.
Mark, let him finish.
And he's developing a show which you'll probably die from before you shut the fuck up. And so she walks up to him and she says, "Listen, I understand you're developing a show about horses. I wanted you to know I'm learning how to ride." You know what he said to her? "Call me when you learn how to jump."
And she was an adult at that time, so
Oh
learning how
yeah,
to
well,
ride.
she was an adult on One Day at a Time.
Yeah, well, I mean, if she was just a beginner, it'd be 20 years before she became a good rider. So
I don't think she was making that a point of interest. I think she just wanted to be on a show. That's but she wasn't. There was a lot of discord with her and whatever John Phillips' daughter's name was, the one she accused him of
Mackenzie.
sleeping with,
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Phillips.
Who, by the way, her other siblings said that never happened.
Well,
oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
Hey, I got a job offer to work. This is many years ago, back in the 70s, but I got a job offer to work for Ringling Circus World with their horses.
Oh.
And the guy offering me the job, I even remember his name was Tommy Baker, but then he found out I was 15. So,
Therefore, on
so he gave me his card and his contact information. No, I think it was a legitimate offer.
you're probably uninsurable at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I
Oh,
mean
I
that.
really wanted to go work, but I mean, Circus World, I think got shut down, so not there anymore. But
Well, they don't use animals anymore.
well, and before
Yeah.
the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey kind of came to an end, they stopped having horses. But I think it's really true that they just didn't have the people that could handle the horses, so they had to give. I think
They
gave
stopped
up
using
horses
all
before
animals.
they
They
gave up
stopped using all
elephants.
animals.
Yeah.
They stopped using chimpanzees
That
and
couldn't have been-
monkeys, all of them.
But horses were gone
Yeah.
before elephants.
That must have made
so-
the parade from the. That must have made the parade station, the parade from the train station to the arena.
Certainly
quite an event.
easy on the nose.
Yeah, easier to clean up.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
and give
yeah,
up show business.
Yeah, they had to fire. They had to fire the. They had to fire the pail and shovel guy.
I'm sorry, sir. We
You
don't
got
need a
laid.
shoveler.
I'm about to say I performed with a horse too, but it had nothing to do with animals. But never
That
mind.
was in Juarez, I believe.
Yeah,
Juarez.
you were there. You were the one in the audience.
I'm the one who kept yelling, "That's it."
You were throwing nickels at me with a wrist rocket.
There
You
you
thought they were nickels.
Nickel.
Well, you left a scar, but listen, I'm not holding it against you right now.
You remember that scene in Godfather 2
Who doesn't?
when they bring out El Diablo?
Superman. Yeah, the big guy. The
You know what his card said? I'm not horsing around.
Oh my goodness. And they say Cuba's
You
not
taking
good
off,
for
Susan?
anything.
See ya,
Yep.
Susan.
See ya.
Susan,
next
it was
week.
a very nice poem.
Yep, I'll be sending the Secret Service by your house to have you picked up and taken to Guantanamo. But thank you for your seditious writings.
Seditious.
No, it's Guantanamo.
What a perfect word.
Come on.
Well, he's a lawyer.
Guantanamo's just for the immigrants, Jason. Those of us.
by the way.
Not anymore.
By the
really?
way, I don't know
Are
if you saw this jackass move,
Yes.
but Pete Hegseth said he wanted to have the word gay on Enola Gay taken off the airplane,
Oh, my
please.
God.
He'll-
not realizing it's the guy's wife's name. So I actually did a TikTok, which I'm going to put out tomorrow. I said, there's a basketball player named Rudy Gay. Does he have to change his name?
he should.
There's an actress named Marcia Gay Harden. Does she have to change her name?
Mhm.
Okay. How about at the end of the Flintstones song, we have a gay old time? Do they have to take that off? Or can we just cut to the chase and say that Pete Hegseth is the biggest asshole that has ever put on pants?
Yeah.
Well, now hold on. I put on pants. Well, never mind that.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
Well,
You
as
do
long
have a
as-
big ass. That's great.
if Trump and Bush can give everybody nicknames, my Hegseth nickname is Pete Burning Sphincter Hegseth.
There we go.
Well,
Is that on a jacket?
you say that, yeah.
That on
Yeah,
a jacket.
it'd be great going into the ring with that. Yeah.
In this corner,
In this corner, live,
Pete
Weighing
Burning Penis
155
Hegseth.
pounds.
Let him know.
the endeared nature boy. All right.
By the way, guys, I switched to an old Apple microphone. Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Much
Thank you. Thank
better,
you.
Much better.
Thank you. I
I
apologize
heard,
for being
this
late.
was on NPR. As I was going to pick my daughter up from work, I heard on NPR that there are between 14 and 15,000 transgenders in the U.S. military, all of whom will probably be fired before summer. Or released.
Would they
or whatever
reveal
do.
it?
What's that?
Would they
Well,
reveal it?
they know because the military, until Trump, allowed for transgender care.
Oh.
That was
Can
one
I
of the
tell you
things that he
something?
ran on.
The
Gonna end
transgenders are
transgender.
going to sue that out of usefulness. And here's another thing. Trump changes his mind more than a fickle child.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true.
So, well, I'm going to tariff stuff. No, I'm not going to tariff stuff. I'm going to do
Well,
this.
a lot of
No,
people think now. you've heard that people have been saying that he's doing that to manipulate the market to let his buddies buy low and sell high.
And how's the market
We're gonna
doing?
Well, we're buying low.
It's dropping now, so all the billionaires buy, and then he goes, all right, no more tariffs, then the market goes back up. And
We're way back up. Hey, dude.
When I think of him, I think of droppings.
Yeah.
Guys, what? I don't know why you get all upset. It isn't going to be that long before we're all bending our knee to the giant AI system. I think the Moloch 2.0, and we're simply fed into the to the great digital beast one at a time anyway. So
I don't know what you just said, but it scared the shit out of me.
Jason's going to be the guy rolled out on the gurney screaming, Soylent Green is people. Soylent Green is people.
And I'll be the one yelling, it's a cookbook.
It's a cookbook.
There you go.
They'll be taking me up to Soylent Green Bay. I can row past
Soylent Green Bay. That's perfect.
And be made into Soylent Brie. And I mean, it's the new mod. Well, Andy's the Soylent Green guy. That's why I don't do that joke, because he does his Soylent humor, and most people are only
green joke is
your Soylent Green stuff.
Green jokes.
Your Soylent Green stuff is fine. I just don't want to step on it. And what are you going to a Bernie Mac concert for? He's been dead for years. I don't understand. What's up with Bernie?
Burning Man.
I went to Bernie. I saw Bernie. He was at
Burning Man.
Dear Mr. Richard Fader.
He was over at Warren at Lincoln High School in Warren this weekend. And
the Who played there in '65.
It was great. What's that?
I said the Who played there in '65. Yeah, great show.
You never know. It could bring in 9,000 people. He brought in 9,000 people. It was like being at a sit.
Well, gee, it makes you almost think you should have run him in 2016 or 2020, and maybe you guys have been the president all these years.
We made a statue out of his posters from all those.
We did win in 2020 Remember?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Please let that shit. I'm begging you. Please let that shit go. Please.
Shambling.
No, it's like an old man saying Ali was never champion. It's the same bullshit.
I never said that.
No, but a lot of guys your age have.
Bernie Man was a fun existence. Okay.
Just tar me with the same brush, Sam. You know I dig it. Actually, it kind of turns me on a little bit.
I think it's the tar.
Soylent Green. Back to Soylent Green.
Back to Soylent.
In my life, that came out when I was 13.
Yes.
And if I had any questions at all about my sexuality, Lee Taylor Young took care of that.
Yes.
Well, I thought Chuck Connor and Ascot did that for me too, but you know.
Yeah, and for me, it was Gina Lola Brigida and Yul Brenner in Solomon and Sheba.
Yeah.
I actually, I can't believe I'm telling you this. I actually witnessed they had an orgy scene in that movie.
Oh. Yeah.
And the usher came over and said, "Sir, you can't do that here."
Hold on, I need a tissue. I'll be with you in just a moment. Yeah.
Oh God.
No, for me, of course, it's Ben-Hur when you have Masala making eyes at Charlton Heston, who has no idea what's going on. He just knows that Masala wants to take him to the steam bath more and more often. And
wait a minute, Jason. What about over yonder is the house of my father?
Over yonder.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, was anyone surprised?
Tony Curtis as a centurion with a Brooklyn accent. That was beautiful.
Who did bang Yvonne DiCarlo? So let's give him that. That's
that's my favorite story of all time.
I was about to say, according to Sam, he did.
He ran into a friend of his from high school, and he said, "Hey, listen, meet me at the corner of so and so and so and so in Brooklyn." So the guy's waiting for him, and it's a bone-chilling rain. And a limo turns the corner, and he rolls down the window, and he goes, "Hey, Ricky, I just banged Yvonne DiCarlo." Because Tony Curtis once said he always wanted his claim to fame to be he made love to the most beautiful women in Hollywood. He didn't care about the awards, none of it.
Well, back in the day, I mean, heck, even Shelley Winters, before she turned into an unemployed truck driver, recently found behind the dumpster of a recently closed butcher shop.
Well, they asked Burt Reynolds, did he ever want to, right, because he had such an interesting life. Did you ever want to write an autobiography? And he goes, I don't want to do that Shelley Winters thing. Who haven't I fucked? I
Right.
just haven't.
Do you think he was putting it to Dinah Shore, or were they just kind of using that to kind
That's
of
you know
to each
something.
other's mutual benefit, as it were?
Without trying to sound insincere, I really don't know. I'd be I mean, she was older than him,
By a lot.
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't matter. You know, I mean, if he cared for her, maybe maybe
Well-
they're just friends. Who knows?
Well,
Well,
I mean, maybe she
he
was
was
like,
interviewed one time. He was interviewed one time, and they asked him pretty much straightforward. And he said, "Well, she was the oldest woman she was the oldest and first woman I've ever had, sex with."
I mean, John
Oh,
Travolta,
okay.
when he was still trying to be straight, was banging the one chick from
Who?
John Travolta back in the day when he
Oh,
was still
okay.
attempting to be straight, and he was banging the old lady from Eight Is Enough or whatever, or in John's case, 9.5. I mean, he is Italian.
Well, and he made that movie, Staying Aroused.
Yeah.
The boy in the plastic bubble, and which, by the way, meant something very different on gay night in Ann Arbor. But never. Hey,
God.
and the guys, I am honestly trying to write new material, although I don't know how well I'm doing it. Yesterday, I cranked out tampons may not be the most feminine product ever created, but they're up there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm not going to use that as the opener. If you ever let me open again I will not use that. We will save that for an evening show.
I loved when you opened there.
I did too, man. It was fun. I mean, I've got to
I
get it
thought you
back
meant
together.
something else when you said that.
Well, he did, but let's not. I mean, Susan's not here, but she might see the show later on, and there'll be
Why do people think
questions.
that Susan is going to tisk us? She's a grown woman. She knows we're
Yeah,
filthy pigs.
and she was taking pictures the last time, so yeah, you're right. We shouldn't be
And
that shocked.
by the way, with a Polaroid.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're hitting you're saying all the right things. So, Sam, if you're coming home, we do need to announce the winner of the shower with Sam Greenfield contest.
The list is long and unhappy. Oh, by the way, I also printed my weight in today's Facebook.
Yes.
136.
Well,
but there are people who are telling me, well, that's a normal weight for someone your size. I go, I don't think so. I don't think so, because my standard weight was like 162, which is a little overweight, but this is like 20 pounds under that. I don't care. I feel fine.
What I would give to be 132 and in the 5th grade again. How lovely.
No, I listen, my weight is fine. My blood pressure, which is the more important than anything else, is 127/70. My pulse is 62. So, the way I see it, I could go at any moment.
I don't think so. You have your family line seems to last a long time.
Well, yeah, my sister lived to be 94. My brother, who passed away from dementia because God answered my prayer.
Oh.
Well, he was a dick.
How old is he?
He 93.
Oh shit! You got a long way. You got a long way to go.
My sister, but then I have two sisters. Isabel, who passed away at 85 because she had a host of illnesses. Just myasthenia gravis, epilepsy, weight problems, and then my sister Elaine. There's nothing we could do about this. She died of a stroke.
Yeah.
But that's the one. Even though I loved all my siblings except for my brother, it always made me sad that with Elaine, because she was closest to me in age, and I thought we would grow old together. So that one made me sad.
Changing the subject just a little bit, but tangentially related. Gene Hackman they've just released that, it looks like his wife had died sometime before him, and he had dementia. And I'm wondering, is he like wandering around that mansion for 8 or 9 days
without her knowing what's going on?
Well, with her dad,
with her dad.
That's right. Oh yeah.
And
he probably didn't get any of his meds for that whole week.
No meds, doesn't know how to feed himself, and worse yet, his kids, his grandkids, nobody's calling, no one's.
Let me ask you a question about that, because I really don't know the answer to this. Aren't there levels of dementia?
Yes.
In other words,
Yes.
you might be able to
Yes.
feed yourself, but you can't
Yes.
remember your name, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then there's when it finally gets to the end stage, and you end up like Kurt Waldheimer, where you're so old you forget you were a Nazi.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
But that's at the very, very end. That was
Yeah.
my brother.
Yeah.
You know, he would come up to me and go, you know, like, who are you? I go, I'm the guy in your will.
No, I
Well,
just find it.
they
Go ahead,
said
Mark.
he died of they said he died of cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
because
And they
you
knew that.
stop functioning, your
Yeah.
And
body
they knew
shuts
that.
down.
They knew that because they had a pacemaker that had a date and time stamp on it, so they knew when it was that he died.
And it was
God.
Jerry in the pacemaker.
Very horrible.
Oh,
Did they figure
man.
out how the dog died?
Yeah.
The dog
no.
was locked in a closet,
Right.
which probably he might have done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Who knows? I mean, they'll never know
And
when
the
the
dog
dog
was
got,
trying, you know,
because
and the
they
dog
had
was
3
yelling, I want to
dogs.
come out of the dog was yelling, I want to come out of the closet, but you know
Yes,
how that works.
I've been
Yeah.
in a
They
closet
had
with a
3
dog
dogs,
collar
and the 2 that
before.
were outside lived,
Yeah.
and the one that was in the closet died.
Didn't. Yeah, that's.
Wow.
But I mean, no. I mean, one of my favorite things from Gene Hackman, because he's always such a tough guy, but yet in the final scene of the conversation, where
That
it
was
was a
great.
very very downbeat role, and perfect for
Mhm.
him. He played it beautifully, and he's just playing that saxophone in his gutted apartment.
After
As
you
the
tearing the entire place apart.
apart, right? And he's just playing the saxophone, and just and you sort of get the impression, well, I don't know, is this all real? Is this all insanity? I think
Did
that's
you
what
ever see the
Coppola
movie?
was.
Did you ever see the movie with him and Ellen Burstyn and Anne Margaret and Brian Dennehy, where he played a construction worker up in Seattle, and
No,
he's
sounds
married to Ellen Burstyn,
amazing.
but he falls in love
Right,
with Anne Margaret, and his
right.
daughter
Oh
is
wow!
Amy Madigan.
Oh,
Oh
no, I
my
didn't see
Wow!
God,
that.
what's the name of this? I got to see this movie.
I think it's called a new beginning or something like that. I can't remember,
Got it.
but there was a
I just,
wonderful
I
scene
just,
in it. There's a wonderful scene in it where his son, who is, he loves his family, but he doesn't live in Seattle,
Right.
and he comes to visit them, and the daughter says to him, who hates her father for dumping his mother, hates her, and he
Mhm.
says, "Listen, you got to wake up, okay? They've been going through the motions for 2 decades. And they're still with each other, but they weren't really in love. Why don't you just let them be happy? Why
Yeah.
don't you do that?" And she kind of says begrudgingly, "Okay, yeah, fine." But that was a wonderful move. Brian Dennehy plays his best friend.
Mm.
Right.
It was wonderful. Can't remember the
what's the
name of
name of
it
it?
though.
I never saw.
I
What's
don't
the name of it?
remember. And Anne Margaret played a bartender where they used to drink, and that's how they met.
An
Oh.
underrated actress. She did
Really underrated.
underrated. If you gave her a good script and reasonable direction, she knew what to do. And
Well,
that.
carnal
Well,
knowledge was great.
She was a pro business chef. Let me try that again. A pro show business for years.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh no, she was something. Bye bye Birdie.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, she gets sort of tagged with being in the Elvis movies, but I mean, heck, you're young, you're pretty, they're offering you money, you're in a movie with Elvis.
Boy, tell me.
But did you see the one with oh God, now I forgot. I said it before. Forget it. Let me see if I can find it.
You see, this is what it
I
is
just
to get old
started
people.
watching.
Tommy.
This afternoon I started watching Get Shorty. Did you ever see that?
I've
watched
never seen that movie.
Mark, I saw it today also.
Oh,
It's a
I
good
just
one.
started. I didn't get a chance to finish because my son called me for tax return help. But that's a good Get Shorty. That was a forgotten film of Gene Hackman's.
Yeah.
Nobody brought that one up during that. Nobody brought that one up during all the
Harry
Cardinal
Zim
knowledge for Anne Margaret. Cardinal knowledge.
Yeah,
for Anne
Harry
Margaret.
Zim. You're right.
and Art Garfunkel.
Yeah.
God, she was in Carnal Knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
she
yeah.
was-
Jack
Who directed that
Nicholson.
movie? I've only
Jack
seen
Nicholson.
it once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was the hottest thing. Man, she was hot, and she was very good. Very
My
good.
favorite line, and by what's his name? Elmore Leonard wrote Get Shorty.
Yeah.
Who directed it?
My favorite line in that is when Delroy Lindo says to Harry Zim, Gene Hackman, says, I've seen your movies. I've seen better film on teeth.
It's directed by Barry Sonfield.
Oh, all right. Okay, that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that
Oh,
makes
it
sense.
was a one. You know, it's so funny. We always talk about how sequels are terrible, except for Godfather 2.
Yeah.
The living proof of that is the sequel to that movie, Be Cool.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No reason it had to be that bad.
Yeah, and well, I know what French Connection was. Gene Hackman. Yeah, he was in French Connection too. That's right, where he gets
Yeah, but he
captured
was
and
in that with
strung
Roy
out.
Scheider and Tony Lobianco.
Yeah, and that was not Friedkin, but the other guy who directed it.
French guy.
Yeah. I can't remember the name right now, but geez, that's gonna hurt. But
Gene
William
Hackman
Friedkin
did a great thing in The Birdcage, though. He was fantastic.
God, I've
Oh,
forgotten that he was in the Birdcage.
Well, listen, let's think about this. What wasn't he good in?
Nothing.
Well, he was in a Tidy Bowl ad that didn't go over. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Who hasn't been?
Well, I mean, I hear that he was a pain in the ass on the Royal Tenenbaums, but I mean, I don't know.
Can I tell you something about that?
Maybe not. I don't know.
They asked Dustin Hoffman about that.
Yeah. Okay.
About, he's difficult to work with.
Right.
And I'm not excusing his behavior, but he said, you know something? What I do for a living is difficult.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people are hard to get. Todd Rundgren, rock star, brilliant producer, not easy to get along with. But if he produces your record, you've got a hit record.
Did you see
a hit record?
What was the movie? I'll never remember it now. The Dustin Hoffman movie, Last Chance Harvey.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Let me strongly recommend this to you. It was Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson. And Dustin Hoffman plays a guy who is in London because his son is he's producing commercials. That's what he does for a living. And he tells his son, listen, all these guys are taking my place because they say, I'm old and I'm out of it. So you've got to come up with something for me. This is my last chance, Harvey. So he goes, he's going to his daughter's wedding in London. That's it. And he's estranged from his daughter. In fact, his wife is remarried. Okay. She loves him, but she's in London. And so he meets Emma Thompson, who is someone at the airport in Heathrow asking people their opinion about things.
Mm-hmm.
And they hit it off. And it's just a very charming, small, wonderful movie. And I strongly recommend it.
You know that you can't bring up Dustin Hoffman in commercials and not think about Tootsie. When he gets fired from a commercial, because
you were goddamn tomato.
Well, I like when he auditions like he's for a kid's part. It's like.
Yeah.
I like when he says, I did an endive salad that knocked the crew on their ass. And I'll tell you what's funny. If you look at the scene where he's in drag at the Russian tea room,
yes,
I look at that scene every time from Sidney Pollack's point of view.
Right.
Okay, not just because he thinks this guy has lost his goddamn mind.
Pollock is
he's in drag. He's
incredibly underrated director. Fantastic director.
And the thing he won for is
underrated actor too. He's been he's acted in some great things.
The stuff he did in The Sopranos.
How about his work in Michael Clayton?
I didn't see that. Hey guys, I'll be right back. I got to get something out of the oven, and it's not.
My dad said that.
It's not a Hannibal Lecter joke either. I'll be right back.
All right. How did Sam disappear? I thought Jason was leaving, not Sam.
I don't know.
That's odd. That is odd.
Well, who's it? Who was supposed? Oh, you got Susan. You popped Susan up.
No, Susan popped herself out.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hear you.
Okay, I want you to listen because I have to speak quietly. I will never miss these motherfuckers over here again as long as I live. Okay, all these are and this is me talking, two old Jews who complain about everything under the mother fucking song. Okay. The nurse stole my radio. The food here is terrible.
But such large portions.
Sam is grabbing my ass, and I don't like it enough. I just am losing. You know, it's all I can do. Not to. I want the last words they hear is, "So I killed them."
Yeah.
2 more days.
2 more days, baby.
2 more days.
Hey, Jason, you mentioned
Yes, sir.
Todd, mentioned Todd Rundgren.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's coming back to town.
You're
but
kidding.
He is, but get this, he's not doing Todd Rundgren's show. He is leading a troupe of musicians and singers, I presume, and they're doing a Burt Bacharach show.
Fantastic. Oh, he's a perfect guy for that, man.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Michigan Theater. It was just him and a piano, nobody else.
Not even any music.
Well, you know, Todd Rundgren has been coming to Detroit since the Grandy Ballroom days.
Yes.
Is he from Detroit? Is he from Michigan?
Philadelphia. But the thing is, this guy, he's not just a performer. He's also, like I say, a director, producer. He knows how to get stuff, and he doesn't take any rock star bullshit because he's like, oh, you got a problem, pal? Go look at the gold records that are over there. Why don't you
I would listen to him play "Bang My Drum" every day of my life.
and well, he did that. He did when he did "Hello, It's Me." It's just him on the piano, and then he's singing harmonies with himself on the fade out, and he does the fade out live on stage.
You know that some guys broke into his house. You know the story?
No.
Tied him up.
Right.
Didn't hurt him, but tied him up. That wasn't enough. Tied him up, and took some of his valuables.
Right.
And as they left, they played one song on repeat over and over. You want to guess what it was?
I have no idea.
Can't We Still Be Friends?
Was this in the house in Maine or the one out in Hawaii?
I don't know the answer to that story.
Because he's out in Hawaii now. I know he sold.
Oh, no, this was 30 years ago.
Oh, that was the one up in Maine or somewhere.
The Gene Hackman Twice in a Lifetime.
That's it.
Okay.
Because he falls in love twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
And he hated playing Popeye Doyle because he didn't like Popeye Doyle. He didn't like the
He played him twice.
Yeah, but it's interesting that you choose an actor who doesn't like this, but yet you get a great performance out of the guy.
Well, he's a great actor.
Yeah, I mean, you somehow or another get that sort of tension going.
He and Pacino were roommates in New York when they started.
I did not know that.
Go ahead.
I'm
sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Richard Dreyfuss used to, when he first started, had a weight problem. And Roy Scheider told this story in a Playboy interview. He said that there were 3 big movies coming out the year I'm talking about, and I don't remember the year. But one of them was Kramer versus Kramer.
Yep.
One of them was All That Jazz.
Yep.
And I'll tell you the third one in a second. So Richard Dreyfuss was complaining because what's his name? Bob Fosse was directing Richard Dreyfuss, and he was in All That Jazz.
Yeah.
And he was on him. You got to lose some weight. You cannot stay at the weight you are and do this show because you're going to be Bob. You're going to be me. You're going to be Bob Fosse. So you have to lose some weight. And he couldn't do it. So he got a girdle, and they referred to it in Hollywood as the Rick Dreyfuss special. And so what happened was he gets fired. Roy Scheider gets All That Jazz.
Right.
And so here's the story. So Dreyfuss gets nothing, right?
Yeah.
Scheider gets jazz, and Al Pacino got something less than jazz. He got Cruising.
Oh God! Oh, I have to
Cruising
stand corrected. Gene Hackman was not Al Pacino's roommate. He was Dustin Hoffman's roommate.
Okay.
Oh.
That's right.
Another Pacino Hoffman
Confusion.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
God.
They're going to die the same day, the same way that Jefferson and Adams did. You know?
And again, the way Hoffman ends the movie The Graduate, when he's sitting there with Catherine Ross, and they're smiling and they're happy, and the bus
and
is
they're
moving.
doomed.
They're
doomed.
They got that look on their face just as the camera just as the camera fades out, you know, and the Simon and Garfunkel fades in, and oh my God, what a brilliant, what
I
a
have
brilliant movie.
I
Mark
have never had
Nicholas.
a crush on an actress in a movie like I had on Catherine Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
was
oh
gonna,
my God. Oh,
I would,
I
I,
just
yeah, I
I
mean,
tell you what, she didn't look bad in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid either. So.
what?
Oh,
Why
yeah.
did she quit acting?
Her
I
stepdad
mean,
because she
How
married
about-
Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
oh really? Just had enough, and that
Well,
was.
it's like Rachel Ward.
Oh, what happened to her?
She married Brian Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, some people just, you know, they're done.
I
Also,
guess
a woman,
when you've done everything you're going to do anyway. I mean, or if you think you have. I mean, look at
and
Ellen Bernstein, though. I mean, she's my
she's
God. Her
still working.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I mean. She's still. How about her monologue in Last Picture Show when she's talking to her daughter and she's saying, "Well, 40's a twitchy age." You know, I mean, and you know how she just delivers that, and you
Mhm.
can tell that she and her husband haven't exactly been friendly with each other for some time, but Clu Gulager has been rolling in and taking care of business for quite some time.
Also, the women we're talking about now, when I refer to Rachel Ward and Catherine Ross, they've been married forever.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
think that plays into their decision to, I
Yeah.
met this wonderful man. I'm very happy. He's earning a great living. We're very comfortable. I'm done.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Brian what's her name? Brian Brown, you know, he's an Aussie, and they're not
Yeah.
known for being
Oh, I know.
feminine.
Oh, I know Brian Brown. Yeah.
Well, Bridget Fonda gave up. You know, she had some great roles, and she has the name, of course, and she has the chops. She knows what she's doing in front of the
Who's she
camera.
married to?
I
Eric
don't know, but
Stoltz.
she's like in her 40s now. She's put
Well,
on some. She looks like a wine mom, and she's happy as a clam. She says, "No, I'm done. I
no,
did
I think she's married to Eric Stoltz.
Oh, yeah.
really
Yeah.
How
well.
about
There you
Sean?
go.
How about Sean Young?
Gosh, wasn't she smoking? And
She
anything she
went,
did,
well, no, you know where
That
she
was
went, right?
well, the
No.
no. Where was she?
Scientology.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No, I was at the Comedy Cellar, and she was in the audience, and one of the comics had to tell her, "You may not know this, but this isn't your show."
oh,
Oh,
ooh,
oh, oh.
ooh,
And
ooh.
then she crosses the street. They're on Bleecker Street. I think it was either Bleecker Street or
Yeah.
Third Avenue. I forget. And and goes into this apartment building up the, you know, to her apartment. And one of the other comics said to me, "Let's go bust the door open." And I said, "I don't think that's the move." I said, I don't want to get traded for a pack of Newports.
I
That's
do. But,
okay.
well, it's just difference
Cools,
between
maybe.
you.
Cools.
Just the
Yeah.
difference between you and me, Sam. I don't mind. You know, again, just it's like, oh, I've been paid for. Great, someone loves me.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know.
Oh, now you want to trade me.
Yeah. Now I'm valuable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now that they're $12 a pack.
Well, I'm going to make sure somebody gets their money's worth. So,
I have
yeah.
no idea how much they
Well,
cost now.
That's one thing that's not going to be affected by tariffs is cigarettes, because American tobacco is way better than Canadian tobacco.
Well,
Well,
Sean,
you
Although
know what happened.
not as good as Mexican tobacco, if you know what I mean.
well,
If you
yeah,
know what I mean.
yeah.
When I used to perform in Winnipeg, I used to carry 5 cartons of cigarettes, and
Yeah.
I would sell them to the Canadian kids, you know, the waiters and
Mhm.
waitresses, for like
Yeah.
$4 a pack, which was like $6 a pack less.
Than what they paid. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Well,
I said,
who was before he got into comedy, who was in the Canadian tobacco industry was Leo DeFore.
Oh, wow.
And if you think
wow.
about it, where he lived down there in when he lived down there in Amherstburg, that was as far south as you get in Canada. So that's really the only place they could grow tobacco. It's known
I'm about
for
to
that
say,
part of Southern Ontario is known for
I didn't think
tobacco and tomatoes.
yeah, that the expression Canadian tobacco industry was a sentence that you could form. I'd never.
Yeah, Leo worked in the Canadian tomato.
Well-
He never smoked a day in his life, but he
Introduce me to Canadian tomatoes. What is that?
There's actually a breed of tomato called the Leamington tomato, and it's from Leamington, Ontario, which is right there on Lake Erie, right at the southernmost part of Ontario. And they're famous. Restaurants here in Detroit used to, I don't know if they do now with the import tax and everything, but that used to be the kind of tomatoes that the downtown Detroit restaurants would always buy. They were actually closer to Detroit than a lot of the tomato farmers in Michigan.
Yeah.
These ones in Ontario. But the Leamington tomato.
You know Steve Seagren, right?
Sure do, from Chicago. Yep.
Yeah. So Steve Seagren and I are doing a gig together. I really like him. He's a really good guy.
He is a good guy, yeah.
And he and I, after spending a night in a nightclub with 3B girls, if you know what I mean, we go to his sister's house, and she lives with a guy.
I heard this story.
Yeah, she lives with a guy who's right. He's a
story in Western Michigan.
Yes, who's a Buddhist, but he's not Indian. He's Caucasian, and they live a life where they don't sleep together. They only congregate to procreate. Oh, I made a poem, but that's what they do, and they're all vegetarians, and they allowed me to stay with them, which was very nice. The guy made his living dropping off newspapers to news delivery guys.
Yeah.
And so I came away from two things with them. One, they were very generous. Three things. Two, they were vegetarians. And three, evidently, in order to be a vegetarian, you have to fart until the entire house burns down.
Pretty much. Yeah. Which is why they only get together for connubial bliss, to create children and not much of anything else.
Well, the biggest seller in all of their town was clothespins.
and German porn.
Nothing like it. Don't knock it.
Hey, what are you kidding? I got a whole bunch of VCR tapes that I hope
Is your
my
arm
nephew
raised
doesn't-
vertically, or are you just glad to see me? Oh no, that's.
You know what I hate about German porn? Too much art. That was
you know the other thing. You always know the ending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Where did the time go?
Oh
my God, look at the time.
Because of German porn, we got the phrase "splooge-worthy."
That's funny. We're funny people. We should
We
do
are funny people.
We should have a show.
We should do stand-up.
Oh
We
my
should.
God.
We should. Oh, you missed it last night, Andy. I did 18 minutes for the
Wow.
opening.
Wow.
Yeah. I rarely do that, but we had so few people. Before you walked in, we only had Susan and her friend and Lisa. Everybody else showed up after we started the show. So I was up there killing time trying to keep the show
Was
going.
that Lisa Green?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did she mention my name at all?
Was she supposed to?
No, I'm just out there fishing.
She did mention that her breasts were 38 triple F, but
Oh my God. So are mine.
That's kind of a roundabout way talking about you, Sam.
God, I hope so. Can I tell you something? At this point, my entire body is a triple F.
Oh, dude. So does that mean you don't want the Vanessa Del Rio box set that I was going to send to you for your welcome home present, or?
And why haven't you?
She's a C cup, if that. Let's go back to Lisa.
Oh.
Yeah. Spot C cup. Spot like C cup. All right, kids. It's 9:00. We're getting out of here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, I'm glad you're heading home, Sam.
Good luck with your freedom.
We'll be catching you at home next week, I hope.
When I get home, the first words you're going to hear from me are, "I heard you, God damn it."
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Stay well.
Good night.